Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the COLPAI project construction webinar. It's lovely to have you again, and thank you so much for joining. My name is Catherine, and I'll be hosting tonight's webinar. For those of you who haven't joined a webinar before, I'm just going to give a quick overview of the format for this evening. So this webinar is being held to discuss the construction activities on site at the COLPAI project. We've got members of the team from the City of London Corporation and ISG on the panel this evening to present activities that have been taking place over the past few months, as well as update you on next steps. Following the presentation, we will open up to Q&A from the audience. We're really keen to ensure there is plenty of time to address any questions you may have. At the bottom right hand of your screen, you should see the Q&A function. Please do submit any questions here during the session. We would also like to invite members of the audience up onto the panel to ask your question during the Q&A directly to members of the team. If you would like to come up, please just indicate this in your message or use the function to raise your hand so I can spot you and bring you straight on up. We're extremely keen to ensure that all questions from the audience can be raised and would like to remind everyone to be respectful to all attendees so the meeting can run smoothly. I would also like to remind everyone that this session is being recorded and will be available to view on the project website afterwards. We'll begin by introducing the team, and I'll go around the panel, starting with Michael.
Good evening, everybody. Michael Goither-Jones, Head of New Developments and Special Projects for Housing Services, City of London Corporation.
Thanks, Michael. And we've got Gerald as well.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gerald Mertens, and I'm the Director for Academy Development for City of London Corporation.
Thanks, Gerald. And Mark?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Lohman. I represent the City Surveyors Department.
And John?
Hi, everyone. I'm John McLeod. I'm the Project Director for ISG.
Lovely, thank you. Hopefully Steve from ISG will also join us. I think he's having a couple of technical difficulties, but we'll get going and I'll pass over to you, John, to give an update on the works on site. And hopefully Steve will be able to come in as well later on.
Sure, okay. Yeah, so the first slide there is the back of the residential building. We are actually at the roof now, so that's showing it full height. What you see there, the construction, temporary construction with the scaffolding is our hoist, which is being constructed at the moment and will feed all the floors. The crane there is due to be removed on the 3rd of July. So within the residential building now we're starting to form the flats, and that is one of the units there. What you see, the black underlay there is an underlay to a screed, so that's an acoustic membrane under the screed. You can see some ductwork at the top of the flat there. That's the flat duct, provides ventilation, and the party walls under construction there. Yeah, that's just one of the flats under construction. Next slide. That's a picture of the school itself. So we are, yeah, that's looking from the perspective, that's looking north at the south elevation of the building. So brickwork's complete now. We're working on the cappings and we're still cleaning the brickwork at the moment. Yeah, that's the completed facade there. School hall, similarly, we're still working on the cappings there, starting on the to fix the external lighting. But that is that's all the scaffolding down now, and that's the completed facade on the school hall. Within the school, we're starting to complete rooms. So this is one of the rooms. I can't recall if this is first or second floor. What you've got there is quite an industrial look to the ceiling. So you've got a concrete finished ceiling there, but the white panels here are radiant panels that provides the heat within the room. The other linear elements there are the lights. What you can see is that grille within the window is a natural ventilation unit, so that lets air into the space. The floor there has been latex ready to receive its floor finish, and you've got a whiteboard and a pinboard there. In between those units, there will be an interactive whiteboard, and the cupboards and furniture is being installed, but is covered up there under some protection. Next slide. Yeah, rather unimpressive slide of one of our toilet areas, just under construction. That's the toilet partitions. Next slide. So this is a dual picture. On the left, you have level 2 corridor. We've really shows we're starting to install all the service tiles now. So what you can see with the orange caps there in the service tiles are sprinkler heads. We've got lighting units there as well within the luminaires within the ceiling there as well. There's a feature panel that goes around the windows here, so you can sort of see that it's a birch-faced ply panel which surrounds the window, provides a nice feature. It's actually protected on the vertical side there, but the horizontal there you can see exposed. And we're just working our way through decorations. The protection there on the left is over radiators, so the corridors have radiators as heat. And on the right there of that picture, you see one of our staircases. So the balustrade there is protected at the moment. That's an oak balustrade that runs around, and we've got some surface fixed lighting there. The floor finishes are in progress at the moment. Next slide. Okay, so this is another one of the rooms with a bit more of the protection removed. So similar to the first floor, this is on level 2. So the only element really in this classroom that's not installed yet are acoustic baffles. So you may be able to pick out from this photograph that there are some hangers fixed to the ceiling, and that will be where the acoustic baffles will be fixed. You've got a carpet there, that's a sort of grey carpet finish, and where the furniture is there, you've got a vinyl finish there, mullion finish. On the roof area, these are the roof slabs starting to be fixed down. So they're formed on pedestals there, and we're laying them at the moment. And this is the sports hall. So doesn't show the sports hall really in its full glory really, because we haven't shown the floor. But this is the ceiling to the sports hall, which we have. It's a raft ceiling, so it doesn't actually go to both sides of the wall. It sits central within the space. The fittings that you can see through that are sprinkler heads and lights themselves. The painting that's at the moment, that's a mist coat finish. So that's the first sort of coat in terms of, but that is the actual finish, the colour that space will be. And at the end of this picture, where those doors are, that leads into the kitchen, which is under construction at the moment. Next slide. These are a couple more of the residential area. So I know there's been some comments and some complaints about lighting. So this shows the lighting to the walkways and the lighting within the units that we're forming at the moment. We have to leave lighting on in the building for safety reasons. We have to have a level of emergency lighting, and unfortunately, if we isolate that in the evenings, the emergency packs, battery packs on the emergency lights drain down, so we have an unsafe situation. So I know that's causing some of you some discomfort, but that's a safety reason we have to have that installed. But yeah, that's just a shot through the floors there. What have we got here? So during the construction period, there will be a requirement for works to be undertaken external to the COLPAI project by subcontractors. Subcontractors will typically have their own agreed scope and permits to work approved by the local highways authority. ISG does not have the authorisation over works undertaken by subcontractors. So this statement relates to some complaints we've had, I think, from utility companies who are in the progress of providing the new services into the building. So we have some fibre services, some BT lines coming into the building, but we also have water, gas and electric services. So water, gas and a number of the BT services are now connected, and the final service to be installed and fully connected, which is ongoing at the moment, is the permanent power. Those utility companies work under permit direct to the highways authorities, and we unfortunately don't have any jurisdiction over them when they're outside the boundary. So their hours of work, their permits are strictly controlled by the highways. So, as I say, that statement there is just regarding those statutory undertakers. And I think this final slide here is our logistics plan. So I know there's been some discussion about how the site will be left when the school is handed over. So we're still due to hand over the school at the end of June, at which point, I'm not sure if you can see the line that basically comes across the screen there, a jagged line there, which is actually takes the route of a retaining wall, which provides a slight change in level. But we provide a hoarding there which separates the school building from what will be our compound and our site area for the residential building. So what we're showing here, I'll just run through each of the sort of elements there. We've got the site offices there, which you'd be familiar with. We'll also have what we've said there, Gallistar storage. Those are our bricklayers, so we'll have bricks stored in that location. We have 2 silos because we hold mortar for the brickwork within silos, and we've got different coloured mortars on the residential building. So we have 2 silos to contain those mortars. We have a hoist which will take men and materials up the building, and we also have mast climbers. So we have 6 mast climbers around the building rather than a traditional scaffold, and those mast climbers will serve the building, fed from ground floor and fed from the hoist, and they will be used to form our envelope. We've got storage areas around what we've still discussed as or still highlighted as the crane base there. And we have got a location there for a generator and a bowser. That's a potential use of a generator and bowser. We may not bring that to site.
John, could you just explain what a bowser is for people that might not know this?
Okay, sorry. It's a fuel store.
Okay, great. Thank
you. The generator would be a super silent generator, but it would be fed by diesel. As I say, that is currently something that we are considering bringing into us for a short time to assist with commissioning while we engage full power from the utility companies. But we may not do so. We may carry on without it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I think that runs you through. Yeah, those are the monitoring results for the period. So I think we had a few complaints regarding noise in the period and vibration within the period, but that just demonstrates that haven't exceeded our trigger levels. Working hours here are detailed here. So we have We have agreed with the planners a short period of extended hours to facilitate some of the final fix and commissioning activities within the building. So we've agreed a variation to the work hours from 6 until 8 within the week, and from 2 until 4 on Saturdays. The strict requirements of that variation to site hours is that we are silent, so there's no percussive braking or drills working within the building, so there's no noise, construction noise outside the building. Everything is within the buildings. Hopefully you would have not even noticed us for the last few days on site there. That is only for a short period of time to support the completion of the school building. We've also, on this page, we've got a shot of the site operating procedures from the Construction Leadership Council. So basically, we are still working in accordance with the guidance notes section or revision 7, which define how we are to manage the site in COVID conditions. I think we're all anticipating some changes in the very near future to that guidance, but at the moment we are still working and operating with those operating guidance. And yeah, that concludes the slides.
Thank you so much, John. We haven't had any questions through on the chat function so far. So if you do have any queries, please do pop them in. It's just at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or do raise your hand and I can bring you up onto the panel to ask your question to the team. So I'll wait a couple of moments and see if anything comes in. Probably worth me mentioning as well that we have had, excuse me, some questions come through in regards to landscaping over the past week, which we're working with the team to get updates on, and we will be sending out further information. And we'd really like to include some more information, particularly on the landscaping, in the next newsletter. But we're keen to focus queries and questions today about construction. So any questions that you've got for ISG, please do pop them in the chat. As John mentioned, we are monitoring guidance very closely in terms of moving forward. So our next meeting is due to be taking place in July. So we will keep you updated on this as we move forward in terms of how this may be held, whether we need to do a webinar or whether we are able to come back face to face. So we will definitely keep you updated over the coming months as more information emerges from the government. So there are no questions coming through to me at the moment. I'll hang on a couple of moments just in case people are typing away just before we close the meeting, just to ensure that we can answer anything that you would like to raise at this point. No, nothing coming through so far. City of London, I just wondered if there was any further updates that you wanted to give at this point in time following John's presentation.
There's nothing for me. I don't know whether Gerald wants to add anything, but I don't have anything further to add.
Thanks, Mark.
I mean, there's nothing that I can think of. We aim for the school to be completed at the end of June, and then the trust will take ownership of the school, with the school opening fully from September. And we're really looking forward to that happening. And we know that the children and the parents are looking forward, and the school staff looking forward to that happening too.
Thanks, Gerald. Michael?
No, just as Mark has said and Gerald, the main issue is the transition now to the handover of the school. And then, as John has outlined, changes to the compound boundary and so forth. So that's the main thing we're focusing on in the next month or so.
Thank you, Michael. We will continue to be issuing weekly works updates on a regular basis as we move forward. And the next monthly newsletter will be going out next month. So there are no questions coming through. So I will draw the webinar to a close. And if there is anything that comes up after today, please do get in touch with us. Our contact information is on our website, email address and telephone number. So pick up the phone or email us and we will get back to you as soon as possible. But thank you all very much for your time this evening. Thank you, John and Michael, Gerald, Mark, for being on the panel today, and hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.